Hey folks, how's it going? Really excited today to talk to you about some of the changes for Elemental Shaman going into pre-patch. Now, overall, there isn't a lot of mechanical changes. There was some long discussion about removing Maelstrom from Shamans. Overall, that's not going to be the case for Elemental as a resource, at least as we jump through the pre-patch here. But what we are going to touch a little bit on today is a bit of the following. So what you'll see in this fun little guide is an overview to both the mythic and the rating builds that you want to bring into elemental. So without any further ado, tier 1, you're going to go with Echo of the Elements. Tier 2, go with Echoing Shock. Now that that may be a little bit of an adjustment to some people, but the burst and kind of sustained AOE that you can play with either with Echoing Shock or Aftershock. It's kind of up for debate. For us personally, we're going to go with Echoing Shock as the recommendation there, but there's only two real talents that are up for discussion in this particular case. Tier 3, stick with Spirit Wolf. It's going to be a ton of fun. Again, increased mobility. You've got it basically like a defensive on demand without a cooldown. So pretty good overall. I know people chirp and are upset with the survivability aspects of Shaman often, but Spirit Wolf makes it a ton of fun for me personally. Tier 4, you're going to go with Storm and Elemental. It's going to stand out. It's going to stand above the other options here, in particular Master of Elements, even as we seen a little bit of a target cap for Eye of the Storm. Most of our burst abilities continue to rock once you've got Storm Elemental as a core component. Tier 5, go with Nature's Guardian. It's really just a buff to your survivability, and being able to get an instant heal for 20% can really take some pressure off both your healer as well as yourself in the event you have a little mistake with a mechanic. Tier 6, Primal Elementalist is the go-to. Just really makes your abilities 20% more powerful than regular elemental abilities. So ton of fun there. And finally, Stormkeeper, like that was a big part of our kit through BFA. Yeah, just making your lightning attacks instant cast, regardless of whether they're your regular lightning bolts or chain lightning. Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. You're gonna see elemental overload on every target. So this is gonna be pretty darn fun. Pulling it back a little bit and looking at the raid build, there is a couple of talents that are a little bit different that you'll see here. Ultimately, tier 1 and 2, no major change there. Echo of the Elements, no argument. Tier 2, I recommend going with Echoing Shock. But if you've got sustained AoE that you need to consider because you've got multiple mobs in that particular encounter, then yeah, you could credibly argue yourself into using Aftershock. Tier 3, Spirit Wolf, for all the fun reasons I said before, having a defensive on demand. Tier 4, bit of a change here from your dungeon build that we just looked at. You're going to go with Master of Elements. It really just kind of buffing some of your abilities by 20%. Tier 5, no change. Stick with Nature's Guardian as the go-to. Tier 6, now we're starting to see a little bit of a change here. Ultimately, what you start to see is that between Primal Elementalist, it'll work well if you pair it with Storm Elemental. Alternatively, you can go with Ice Fury and Master of Elements, and that kind of complements the single target build that we're trying to prioritize here. Tier 7, no change. Stormkeeper is the way to go. If you're just looking for some kind of casual gameplay and you like to see yourself all empowered from a visual standpoint, Ascendance is fun just to play around with. And when I look at my old troll, I think that's kind of the way that I might do the open world questing with him as we jump into the pre-patch. Tips for your rotation: keep Flame Shock up on all of your opponents. Really just make sure you're not overcapping your Maelstrom. I know that was a little bit of a challenge when we were in BFA. Yeah, it's going to continue to be something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Use Earth Shock or Earthquake on demand. Make sure you're burning up the Maelstrom as you're building it. And fill your gaps really, which is Lightning Bolts or Chain Lightning. It's a ton of fun. Ultimately, like, we're just trying to knock down as much and as many different packs as possible. As far as stat priority goes, critical strike, haste, versatility are all just about equal here. So not a crazy number of changes, and a lot of flexibility as far as secondary stats go. So that's a ton of fun. I'm looking forward to that for the most part. Yeah, that's it. Drop it down in the comments. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you think of the AoE cap targets. Like, I know I actually didn't mention them, sorry. So Chain Lightning and Lava Beam are going to be capped at 5 targets. Eye of the Storm is capped at 6 targets. Meteor is capped at 8 targets. And Earthquake or Liquid Magma Totem is capped all the way at 20 targets. So overall, like, this isn't terrible compared to a lot of other casters out there. I know Blizz is trying their best to make it relatively competitive, and I think they're doing okay with Elemental. I don't think Shaman's gotten a lot of attention over the past, well, at least 1.5 expansions, if not more. So interested to see where it goes next. What's your take, folks? Are you going to play this kind of steady Elemental build, or are you going to jump headfirst into our recently designed enhancement Shaman? I think there's going to be some fun gameplay to be had there. So drop down in the comments, let me know what you like, what you don't, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. See ya.